In this video, we're going to look at QCE Management using TrackEd. So I'm just on the senior profiles here. I'm going to return my whole found set, and scrolling down the bottom, I've actually got two SLIMS tab options here. The bottom will have estimate totals, and the middle one here will just show the SLIMS lines. So you can show either of these. You wouldn't normally show both of these on the profile at once. Now, if you're looking at this and you're not seeing any of these purple areas on the profile, there's actually a setting that you may need to change and update. So if you go to the settings area and you look at the 9 to 12 section here, you want to make sure that this show QCE contribution from SLIMS has been checked. So you just want to check that one there, and then when you're on the profile in those two locations, you should see this SLIMS areas in purple here. Okay, so after a SLIMS import, this will update with the latest SLIMS information, and if you've got awarded set here, it will show you the number of points that are awarded in those import files. Okay, if I choose estimated instead, these will actually toggle to show you the estimated points. It'll default to 100% in every case, and you can click in here and actually change the estimated participation to update that estimate for this. Okay, so the same in the bottom here, we can toggle between awarded, and if I go to another student here, I'll actually have something showing, and that will total up into this value here and add to the total estimated SLIMS. Or you can choose estimated, and this will update what is showing here. So it's important to note that the last thing that you clicked is what's going to show here. So before you print these or email these, you just want to make sure that you've got that clicked into the right location. Okay, so that explains the purple sections. The green section here is in and around the subject contribution. I know it's labelled estimated core, but that's probably a bit of a mislabeling. So what we actually have here is an estimate based on these subject results. And as I scroll through here, hopefully we'll pick up a little bit of variation in these. I'll go to the end. There we go. And we have here a student who's only got 4 contributed. Now you'll notice here that this is actually decoupled. So it says 4 at the top, but it's saying 12 down the bottom here. The reason for that is we've got a process where you actually click this green update button at the time that you want to refresh this information from the top to the bottom. The reason why we've separated that is that some schools don't want their interim results to change their estimated totals, and other schools do. So you get to control when this happens and fills in down the bottom. The other thing that you can do with this particular view here is you can actually enter in manual point contributions. So if I do that, I get a yellow marker here to show that that's a manual entry. So you might like to do that for conceded passes, and you can go through students, add in those manual estimations, and then once everything's been updated and it's all ready, press this update button. That will update the full found set and update their total contributions here as well. So a couple of other things that you might like to check before you publish these results. So once you've done your manual entries, maybe once you've done your estimations, there are 2 helpful reports that you can use to help with QCE management. One of them here is, let me find it, the subject manual QCE entries. So I'll run this one, and this is actually going to show all of the subject manual entries that I've done for all of the students. So you can actually just click through here and make sure that these are correct. In this case here, I don't want that one, so I can clear it out. And so that's a correction that I can make for the manual entries. And the other one is the SLIMS entries report, which will list all of the SLIMS lines for the current students. So just looking at that, when you scroll through, you can actually see the manual estimated completions that have been added. You can actually hide lines here. Potentially they've enrolled in a line that they didn't finish, and then they're not going to get any points for. You can actually hide that, and it'll remove it from those estimated and awarded totals as well. So you can scroll through this and have a look for any corrections that may need to be done. You've also got some filter options at the top here, so filter down to just those that are completed. You can filter by a learning name, so filter by advanced television performance. You can look for the ones that are incomplete, the ones that have no points, and also the ones that are hidden. And I can click all there again, and show more will show some extra information about those courses that they're enrolled in. So between all of that, the subject contributions, the QCE contributions, and the two reports here, the subject manual QCE entries report and the SLIMS entries report, you can make sure that your estimates here are complete and up to date. There is the option to do an estimated other contribution here as well, so you can add in extra points that way. You have a notional sound box here where you can override the literacy and numeracy boxes here. And we also have one more search which you might like to do, so it's one of the find options, and it's called failing QCE. So that's going to ignore QCIA students, and I found 7 that match the criteria. The criteria are less than 20 points, or a literacy or a numeracy fail. So as I scroll through these 7 students, we can see that they are the ones that haven't met the requirements there. So I can then run one of these reports. I could run a QCE estimate list report, which will show 5 students per page and all of their QCE relevant information. Or the other report you might like to run is on the list view, and we can run a data wall for those 7 students. Maybe we'll do 9 per page. And in this case, we'll change this to the QCE view. And so that will again show the latest result, literacy and numeracy, and the SLIMS information along with their estimates. So that could be a useful one to print out and engage and monitor with that over time. So that's QCE management using TrackEd.